Hello, people. Hello, lads and lasses. Lads and lassies. Lads and mango lassies. Listen, this song is... It's an annoying song. So, children, sing it to your parents. They love that. They say they don't, but they love it. Little children, sing it to your older brothers and sisters. I love it. It's not really that kind of sing it to your older brothers and sisters annoying song. That would be, this is the song that doesn't end. It just goes on and on, my friend. Some people started singing it not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end, etc. This is just an annoying song. There are only 3 chords. The first chord is D. That's what I'm doing right now. The second chord is G. Stay on that for 3 beats. And then D, G, A7 takes only 2 fingers, and a D. There we go. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. So that's the man singing. And then the woman, Liza. Then fix it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then fix it, dear Henry, fix it. Rise Up Singing says Willie, but I think the guy's name is Henry. With what shall I fix it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fix it, dear Liza? With what? With a straw, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With the straw, dear Henry, with the straw. And then there's a problem. Henry has a lot of problems. But the straw is too long, dear Liza, dear Liza. The straw is too long, dear Liza, too long. Then cut it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Liza's annoyed. Then cut it, dear Henry, cut it, but not as annoyed as she's gonna get. Guess what he asks? With what shall I cut it? Dear Liza, with what shall I cut it? Dear Liza, repeat the question. With what? Ooh, guess what he's gonna cut it with? With a knife, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a knife, dear Henry. Stupid Henry, cut it with a knife. But the knife is too dull, dear Liza. That means it won't cut. But the knife is too dull if you're a kid. Dear Liza, too dull. I didn't know what dull meant when I was a kid. I only knew boring and not sharp. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna sharpen it with a stone, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Sharpen it with a stone, dear Henry. Sharpen it with a stone. But the stone is too dry. Stones need to be wet if they're for sharpening knives, children. I did not know this when I was a kid and I heard this song. If it's a sharpening stone, you need to wet it. Works better. But the stone is too dry, dear Liza, too dry. So wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. So wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Wet it. Not the bed, the stone. Oh, we got a couple more problems. Oh, we got a lot more problems. With what shall I wet it, dear Liza? Stupid question. With what shall I wet it, dear Liza? With what? Guess what? With water, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With water, dear Henry, dear Henry. Use some water. The deer becomes sarcastic before halfway through the song. But with what shall I fetch it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I fetch it, dear Liza? With what? You can see where this is going. Fetch the water with a bucket, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a bucket, dear Henry, with a bucket. You can do do the last. I bet you know the last verse. But there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. But there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, a hole. So yes, those are the chords: D, G, 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 D, G, A7, and a D. It's not up there with 99 bottles of pop on the wall, or This Is the Song That Doesn't End. However, it's kind of an annoying song. It's a traditional song, originally a German song, Liebe Heinrich. I can't speak German. Liebe Heinrich. I want to roll my R's like Spanish. Heinrich. Liebe Heinrich. I think it means dear Heinrich. Okay. Have a good day.